Alex here. I am aware that this particular Justice Court department has a terrible audio on Blue Jeans, but at the same time, I couldn't justify sending an in person camera knowing that the hearing was not going to proceed. It's going to be a pretty short hearing. Again, sorry about the quality, guys, but yes, when something more substantial does occur in this Justice Court department, we will deploy an in person high definition camera with audio, and you won't have this issue.
Bradley Bellisario, 23 CR 009122.
Properly notice on behalf of Mr. Bellisario, he's present out of custody. This matter was called off, and we're going to ask the court for a status check in quite some time. Ms. Baharov is the prosecutor on the case with track today. The issue is he's entered into some negotiations. This case wasn't contemplated then because know about it, but she's indicated to me that she's willing to just go ahead and dismiss this and added those negotiations. The complications are Mr. Bellisario is currently in proceeding. Raw his guilty pleas upstairs, so we don't know what the status of anything is. I can tell the court I've reviewed all of the minutes. I've discussed it with Ms. Baharov, and it's going to be a drawn-out process either way. Whether he is allowed to withdraw his plea, there's going to be some procedure to follow, or whether he is not allowed to withdraw his plea, his sentencing will still need to be. My request today is going to be to set this for a status check July 20th. What's happening?
So why wouldn't we just reset this for preliminary hearing? Because if he's trying to withdraw his plea, why would the state throw in this case as part of the negotiations?
Because he may not be allowed to withdraw his plea, and if he is, they may come to a new agreement there of global revolution. There's a ton of stuff. She's indicated to me that she's willing to. And
So
I don't think it makes sense to do that. If the court doesn't want to go out that far, but I don't think.
I mean, it's not that far. If he's trying to withdraw his plea, I don't proceed on everything.
Well, that may be where we end up. I just don't think now is the right time. I think I'm out of town, unfortunately, at the end of July, so July 20th is when I'm here in July. If the court wants a date, I think July is probably.
Mr. Bellisario, what do you have to say?
District Attorney Baharov had said in the other cases that it was upheld in those.
You still have to pay the money back, though. I said you still have to pay the money back.
That's not what she said in the other case.
It would be part of the restitution in the district sentence.
No different than anybody else, right? Does that not make sense to you?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming I'm guilty of something.
I'm not.
Right, that's what
No,
I'm saying.
I'm not assuming that at all.
Right. So, plus, this case was already contemplated in the other one. She already mentioned it was brought up. I would suggest we push it out so we can see what happens in the other cases. That's what I would request.
But no, and it'll all be fine. So you're trying to. I don't know how many other cases are there.
There's 3 cases in district court, one of which would be dismissed, 2 where he's entered a plea as part of a global negotiation, and then there are, in addition to this, 2 other justice court cases. Maybe I'm missing another justice, but all of it is set to be wrapped up as part of the global. So even if there is a withdrawal of plea, there may very well be another plea entered. And if not, this gets this.
All right. So who is handling his motion to withdraw his plea?
I believe he's handling that himself currently.
No. So right now we had a yesterday.
Schwartz.
Schwartz Court. So she appointed a public defender. That there's a status check in 3 weeks. Public defender on the 3rd case for bringing in conflict counsel to check different things.
A PD? You don't know what the conflicts are?
No, I haven't looked into those other cases.
I don't even have access to files. This is going to open up a whole nother can of worms, but apparently the discovery hasn't been turned over from his previous 2 councils ago. So, no, I certainly can't. I can tell the court I don't have a case. The DC-17 or the DC-19, those aren't even my tracks. No, I'm far away from those.
So who were your previous counsel that aren't representing you anymore?
Yeah, Ross before.
Ross Goodman,
yeah.
Gabriel Grasso, and Mason.
And at this point, you can't afford an attorney?
Not really. I mean, I may be able to, but the issue was Ross, Gabe Grasso, and Ross turned a partial case file over. Supposed to have a hearing on that yesterday, and Schwartz said she contacted Ross. Okay, him give her 2 flash drives. Said, "Here's your case file. This is what he gave me 9 months ago. Is now the full case file. Doesn't include many things which I had requested." And she said, "Well, that's what he represents." So then she appointed me a public.
So I'm not really interested in dragging this out forever because you've been through 3 attorneys so far.
Well, none of them will do anything. So that's the issue.
Why don't you represent yourself?
Because well, technically I qualify as a protected person. I don't necessarily want it myself.
Okay. Writing to set this for a preliminary hearing on July 20th.